Brewski, Cold One, Cerveza, beer, the most consumed alcoholic beverage worldwide. Beer is a libation served for almost any occasion, but these days the definition of what makes a beer good is swiftly changing. In fact, in 2018, overall U.S. beer sales dropped while craft beer sales increased by 4%, claiming roughly 13% of the overall U.S. beer market, that is $27.6 billion. But what about craft beer has got the nation buying into the brew? What is it about craft beer culture that is spinning the bottle on the classic macro beer across the globe? You're watching Revolution Hop.
The amount of detail and work that goes into making a beer, from every single person involved is astronomical. And I think it's easy to get overlooked when you go into a liquor store or a grocery store and you see 1,000 different brands of beer and types and styles and labels and everything else, and you're just like, I'll just grab whatever.
Well, a macro beer, I think people are very loyal to those brands, whether it be Coors Light, Miller Lite, Budweiser. And the craft beer drinker, especially right now, is always looking for something new, something different.
When I think of a domestic or formerly domestic light lager, it gets consumed in the 12-pack, the 30-pack. Craft beer is about experience in a way that you're not bellying up to a bar and slinging down a variety of mugs of beer in a chilled glass so that you don't taste it. It's really about the other people that you're with.
It's another avenue for people to basically get to know their neighbors, because you could end up seeing somebody that lives in your neighborhood at your local, brewery, and you may not have ever spoken to them before. You just happen to drive past each other on a daily basis. Maybe you wave hello, and then you happen to be in the same place, see that, you're curious about what beer the other one's drinking, and you can start striking up conversation and end up making a friend.
When you meet someone that you don't know and you have craft brewing in common, you could spend all night talking with them. So it's just, I think it brings people together and it just starts conversation.
Craft breweries create these communal agreements and unique experiences daily, from providing a space for growing conversation down to innovating a beverage that can be shared and equally enjoyed by the unique people it is catered to. But how are craft brewers switching up the classic light lager brew we've all come to know? What makes craft brewing so special?
Craft beers are an experience. It's not just about one product. We're not putting out beer. We're putting out a whole spectrum of beers.
You can say, I think I'm going to throw in some elderberries in this one and see how it turns out. Or I'm going to do 3 different types of hops instead of just 2. Or I'm going to try a different strain of yeast and see what happens. And you find something that you like, and so that's the art, being able to just try different things and what you like, and find what you like and build from there.
But the 4 main ingredients are water, hops, barley, and yeast. So each ingredient has a really long chain of relationships. And through all of that, I'm the end process right before the customer drinks it. And so I put all these relationships together, and then people can come and talk to me or to anyone in the brewery, and they can get the full story of what's behind each ingredient versus like a macro, here's your can of beer that could be brewed the same anywhere in the world. You have no idea where it came from, who brewed it, how it got there, the stories, etc.
You can 100% express yourself once you have a really good understanding of the different ways you can manipulate things to get various flavors. And when you realize a lot of the different ways to do that, dialing it in is definitely an art form. It's rare that you come up with a new recipe and you're just like, okay, I'm 100% happy with this the first go around. You always come back and you're like, oh, well, I want to tweak this little thing or switch this ingredient. And you almost always make small, subtle changes until you get it to where you want it. And just understanding all the different ways that you can do things to get a different result, I definitely think it's an art form.
Craft beer itself is only part of the self-titled craft beer culture. Breweries and multi-brewery collaborative efforts are additional pieces to the growing phenomenon that keep consumers tapping into that craze. What is it about the industry that is so appealing to the masses? How can a beverage that is interpreted in so many different ways unify not just its consumers, but those who brew it all together?
I've loved going to breweries wherever I'm at in the country and seeing their take on both the production of beer as well as the atmosphere that they create.
Even as you look at some of the bigger known microbreweries that are out there, there's a lot of collaborating going on. Everybody wants to work together. You know, you can go to 2 or 3 different ones in your area and not feel bad about it, you know what I mean? Because they all support each other.
Community of craft beer, people weren't like, oh no, another brewery, we gotta hate them, right? Like, nope, everybody wants to work together. As we were building, we had questions and we're like, oh, we think this, but I wonder how they did this over there or whatever. And so we would reach out to them and be like, hey, we're looking into this, what do you think? Or what did you do? And everybody is super happy to help and give kind of their idea of why they did what they did.
Actually, sometimes when I'm traveling, I'll just strike up conversation with some colleagues and find out that they homebrew too. And we start sharing some recipes and stories of successes and failures. And
We're all in the same game and trying to help each other out and help other breweries survive.
I think breweries in general are looking for ways to give back or to make a difference or to help out. We're constantly, partnering with different organizations or, other breweries to give back.
We create opportunity for people to come together at any point in the day, in the week. You might just go out to enjoy some craft beers. You might go to a brewery to seek out a flight and try a variety of new things that they put out since the last time you were there. Or you might specifically go to a place to have a few pints and play a game.
I think that it's a communal thing in a lot of different ways, because obviously definitely doing the charity stuff, working with the community in general, doing events to get people out, that's a big part of it. And also being a local business, you're helping support your local infrastructure. But, it's definitely also a social thing. It really does get people to socialize with each other. And again, you can be in close proximity and not know the person that lives next to you, but if you bump into them at the brewery, you might end up talking and then you end up becoming friends.
it just makes you feel fantastic that that what you've done has made other people happy, that they are really enjoying what you've done. I think it's kind of camaraderie, that everyone is together enjoying something.
But also the people who build the spaces. When you walk in, the feeling that you get when you're here, and people have told me many times, they're like, I walk in and I instantly felt like I was welcomed here. And it takes a special person to be part of this industry. I'm not in it for the money, I'm in it because I enjoy it. And it's fun, and I want other people to experience this community and family that we have and that we've created, not just us here, but all of the breweries as we work together.
Usually in craft beer, I feel like everyone is a little more interactive and open with who they are, so it shows through that. So when you walk into a new craft brewery or bar, you're greeted with new sights, new sounds, new personalities. And even the other guests in the establishment add to that. So you never know who you're going to walk up to and start up a conversation with. And because of craft beer, drawing in people who want to seek community and this craft and passion behind what goes on here, I think that instills sort of a nostalgic and kind of magical atmosphere.
Each day, brewers find new ways to unite beer enthusiasts across the world in the name of creative exploration and the pure love of a good beer. Drinking brews has not only become more than just choosing a beverage, it has evolved into a method of sharing ideas, expressing one's taste, and opening the door for new relationships. So next time you swing into your neighborhood brewery, take a moment to observe exactly what is happening around you. You might just be in the presence of the ever-bubbling Revolution Hop.